Hey there, my name is Rohit Kumar, and today we are going to discuss another journal whose name is IEEE Network. So I think you can see the homepage of IEEE Network at IEEE Explore, which is the fundamental exploration site of IEEE. Here you can see the IEEE Network's homepage, and this homepage provides a lot of details about this particular journal. The special thing that the journals and the magazines, both things are listed in the single category at IEEE site, and that's why the IEEE network, which is a particularly journal, is listed in this particular category. Okay. Now there are different magazines also which are listed in this particular category, and then people do always have a debate that what is a journal, what is a magazine. So magazine usually focuses on some specific research aspects of some new research field or some specific research focus, and they are kind of survey paper only, but not exactly survey. They are supposed to give you a new insight or a new perspective from a different research point of view. And in this way, magazines writing, their communication and their publishing are quite different in comparison to journals. So if you see some magazine paper, then obviously you will have a better understanding that what I'm talking about. So let's leave it, and coming to the original topic, IEEE networks. So IEEE network is a very well-known journal of IEEE, and you can see the impact factor that is 10.693 as of now, and it is very powerful. And if we leave the impact factor, then I will show you that it's a Q1 journal, and how it is listed in some of the very powerful databases, and including SCI. And SCI is a very good database, and most of the journals which are listed in SCI are considered to be the journals of repute, and that's why the usual or the most of the degrees are awarded based on the SCI publications only. Okay, coming to the basic details, so here you can find some of the popular articles, and if we go down and see the popular articles, then you can see that vision of 6G wireless networks, application trends, the technology, and the open research problems. Then the in-edge AI, the intelligentizing mobile edge computing, the caching, communication by federated learning, then the learning IoT in edge, deep learning, etc. means IoT, deep learning, machine learning, edge computing, fog computing, wireless networking, 6G, 5G. These are the sort of basic fundamental application domains, and which are the under focus of IEEE networks aim and scope. So firstly, before discussing much things, means you can have a basic idea of the aim and scope by the popular and the early access or the current issue articles also through all these things. But if you want to have a clear-cut, explicit aim and scope from the journal side itself, then you can see at the homepage itself, it is listed down that IEEE network covers the following areas, including IEEE protocols and architectures. Means if you are writing a particular protocol or proposing a new protocol or proposing a new architecture, then you can look into then the protocol design and validation, because whenever you design a protocol, you need to validate it. So in this, the protocol validation is important. Then communication software and its development and test, network control and signaling, then network management, practical network implementations, including LAN, MAN, and WAN, the switching, signal processing, switching and processing in integrated networks and network components, and finally the micro to host communication. Okay. So in this way, you can see that the journal is offering quite a wide range of topics and domains. And in this way, with respect to a particular network or the architecture that you are discussing, you can propose so many protocols, their validation schemes, their testing, development, controlling, signaling, etc. Okay. So a lot of scope is there. And considering this wide range of aim and scope, that's why it's easy to see that why this impact factor is so high. Okay, so whenever the journal is opening its scope and making the scope wider for the general audience, then obviously it becomes a probability, means there goes a higher probability that more number of papers are supposed to come to that particular journal. And obviously over the period of time, journal also tends to maintain the quality of the publication, and in this way citations come more frequently. Okay. So coming to the peer review process, so here see the articles in this journal are peer reviewed in accordance with the requirements set forth in the IEEE PSPB operation manual, and we have already discussed about this PSPB operation manual. And it is each of the article is reviewed by a minimum of 2 independent reviewers using a single blind peer review process. So the authors are not supposed to have the information of reviewers, but reviewers have the information of authors. So that's why it is a single blind peer review process. Now, some plagiarism policies are there like every other journal. So that is part of it. Additionally, you can see that the author's resources provided here, the submissions guidelines. If you want to submit the manuscript, then the uh, author center, then becoming a reviewer, additional information, and the open access publishing option. So additional information means it includes the additional other information that is not provided at the homepage, but some of the information is common. For example, if you see the editorial board information they have provided here, but submission guidelines like here, so that link is available there also. So in this way, the author guidelines, these links are common, okay, but some of the information like editorial board, etc., that is not provided there. There only the editor-in-chief and the sort of information is provided. So if you want to see the editorial board, click here, and here you'll have the information. So editor-in-chief is Chongang Wang, and Interdigital USA person, and the associate editor-in-chief, director of magazines, senior technical editors, and the whole team is listed down here. Okay, so I think it's 45 to 50 people, and quite wide team, and it is quite obvious because the IEEE Communication Society journal IEEE Network is quite powerful journal, and offering so many aims and scopes to publish it in. So in this way, so much activity goes on in this sort of journals, and that's why a big editorial or the editorial board team is required to maintain all these sort of activities. Okay. Now, with respect to Computer Society, which is offering this particular journal, if you want to have its membership, see the publication related details, conferences, events, etc., all these informations are provided here. Now, moving back and supposed to see that guest editor headline, etc., submitting a paper journal, best readings, blogs, digital libraries, etc., other things are also provided. Now, coming back to the home page, here you can see that open access publishing options are listed down here. So the journal provides the open access option, and if you want to publish the open access, then here are the choices. So you can see the fully open access journals and the hybrid journals and the IEEE access. IEEE access is a journal here, but you want to see, then you have to go and read the details of both options, means two specifically, the fully open access journals and the hybrid journals. Most of the journals belong to these two categories. Okay, this IEEE access is a particularly journal in itself. Okay, moving back, and here you see the editor-in-chief information is provided that we have already seen. Now the popular articles are related here. Now the popular articles might be the older ones. Okay, so what is my advice, that you always go to the early access and the current issue articles to have a better understanding that what type of journals are under focus right now, because time to time the focus of a particular journal or magazine gets changed, and in this way you are supposed to get in touch that what are the related latest issues and the keywords and that you need to focus on. Okay, now coming to the all journals, so this thing will give you the information that how long the journal is into practice. So here you can see that 1980 and onwards it's functioning, and in this way it's quite old journal. Okay, and that's why its reputation is so good. Now coming to the about journal, so about journal is showing the again same metrics and some of the publication related details. Aim and scope we have already seen. The publication details, so some of the key terms like the publication fee. So obviously the article processing charges and the subscription based models, they are following, quite obvious. And peer review is vital to the quality of research, quality research. So that's why peer review is there. Single blind review we have already seen. And in addition to some publication ethics, copyright licensing, post publication information, etc. are provided. If you are interested, you can go and have a look. Then the sponsored by IEEE Communication Society, and there are some other editorial board team member information. Frequency is 6, so the journal is bi-monthly, and in this way every 2 months the journal is published. So I think it's a good chance, means monthly or bi-monthly journals are quite popular among authors, because if you want to publish fast, then it's a better choice to always go for a monthly or bi-monthly journal. If you are going for quarterly or 6-month publishing journals, then I think it is going to take much time. So do make proper choices according to your requirement and then go for a particular journal. Okay, now I think most of the things we have covered. So we have seen that IEEE network has very good impact factor, but impact factor should be our last choice. Means out of 3 main factors that I always tell, first thing you need to check that whether the journal is SCI or SCIE or not. Okay, second thing that whether the journal is Q1 or not, so Q indexing. Third thing, what is the impact factor? So impact factor is 10, obviously good. Now we are going to check the first criteria, that is SCI. So we are going to see the SCI list. Here the Web of Science Master Journal List means the Clarivet site. This site is going to open at the homepage. We are going to paste the IEEE network and going to search. And here you are going to see that the journal is Science Citation Index Expanded. So in this way, this journal is SCIE, and you are supposed to not bother about its quality, etc. Obviously it is good. Okay, now second thing means first thing SCI, second thing Q ranking, and third impact and SCI we have checked, and now the only thing is Q ranking. So let's see. So here we search the Q ranking, and at SCI Mago site, here we search the IEEE network, and here it is. Okay, so you can see the H index is above 100, and which is very good. Okay, any H index which is above 100 for a particular journal or magazine is quite good. Okay, now you can see that there is only single track, computer science, in which there are 3 tracks, 3 subtracks: computer networks and communication, hardware and architecture, information system and software. Sorry, 4 subtracks, but there is a single main track, and this is very good thing, means the journal is focused towards a particular direction. It's a US journal, and the publisher is IEEE, obviously, and it's a journal. ISSN numbers are provided. Coverage is 1986 to 2020, which is quite wide. And then the information with respect to homepage, how to publish, and other informations, aim and scope are provided here. Now the fantastic thing that here you can see that since 1999, and before data is not provided, but 1999 and 2020 means more than 20 years, means it is continuously Q1 across all 4 quartiles. It's a wonderful foothold, and obviously if you want to publish in this particular journal, I will highly recommend you, because journal is throughout Q1, and journal is SCI, and third thing, that impact factor is very good. So overall it's a very good journal, even the elite class journal, I should say. Now, as I told you that it's an elite class journal, so obviously it is going to get tougher to publish in this particular journal. So that's why you always should keep in mind what are the alternatives. So here you can see that the similar journals are the IEEE Communication Magazine, IEEE Wireless Communications, IEEE Communications Standards Magazine, IEEE Vehicular Technology Magazines. Now the focus of these journals or magazines will be slightly different, because as you can see here, the vehicular technology is in the focus. Here the communication standards are focused. Here the wireless communication is in the focus. So in this way, you need to focus that what sort of journal you are looking at and what is the exact aim and scope. Choose specifically and be clear while selecting a particular journal, because if you are not lying within the aim and scope exactly or clearly within the limits of the journal, then obviously your work is going to get rejected at the very initial stage of publication, and that's why you are going to lose 1 or I think 2 months. Means not usually 2 months, but within 1 month you will get the decision that your work doesn't lie within the scope of the journal, and that's why we can't proceed with it. But still 15-20 days or 1 month time is quite significant, and you can't lose it if you are working in tight time limits. Okay, so always check your aim and scope very clearly. Coming to the SGR graph, so here it is going low as of in 2020. total number of documents are continuously on surge, but still only 263 journal works were accepted. So you can see that despite being a bi-monthly journal, here in 2020 they accepted 263. Okay, so in this way, the acceptance rate is quite low of the journal, and your work need to be of sufficiently high quality to get accepted. Additionally, best thing that you can see that the citations per documents with respect to last 2 years is way better than with respect to last 3 years and 4 years. So it shows that continuously the popularity of the journal is going on rise, and that's why the people are looking more for this particular journal. And this is the best possible part that I have seen till date, that the gap of total citations and the self citation is very wide, and it should be. So as you can see that it is almost mapping to the total number of citations with respect to the external citation, and that is quite commendable, because if you are having very less number of citations, then the journal's reputation keeps on rise. Okay, thirdly, the international collaborations are also good, and you can see in 2020 it is, I think, maximum. Okay, so it is very good thing, and citable documents are there, but percentage less, but still there are. So due to some reason, sorry, non-citable documents are there, but these are 26 and 2020 due to some ethical guideline violation or something that is against the policy. These are not citable. But here you can see that in 2020, 30 documents are there which are not even cited, despite being the citable documents. So point is that there might be some reason, means your work might be very specific to a subtopic of a domain, and very few people are looking into that. So in this way, for example, in SDN, if you are working in wireless SDN, and even then if you are using the programmable interfaces and using P4 or something like to program the data plane or something like that, then it's a very specific fine domain where only a limited number of people are exploring the domain. So it is not the measure that if your work is not getting cited, then you have not done anything. Your work might be of very good quality, but as the authors working in your domain are quite limited, that's why your work is not cited or having very less number of citations. Okay, so don't worry about it. Now the point that overall ranking, so IEEE Network is a overall Q1 journal, and here you can see this widget shows it clearly. Okay, with a very good SGR 2.55 score. Okay, so I think this journal is a masterpiece. You should definitely go for it if you or your work lies within the aim and scope of this particular journal. And if you want to put some more comment about this particular journal or something that I didn't cover, please let me know. Additionally, I would like to give information like some of the authors who are publishing in IEEE Network are also publishing in some other journals, because many times we don't get accepted here. So you should have some alternatives in mind. So I have already told you some alternatives, but still there are some other alternatives like computer networks, which is a Elsevier journal, then sensors, which is an MDPI journal, and electronic letters, etc. Okay. Additionally, if you want to switch the publisher itself, then it's good, because IEEE and Elsevier are the major competitor of each other. So if you don't get good journals in IEEE, or your work didn't get published in IEEE journals, then you can switch to Elsevier and you will find lots of journals there of similar interest. Additionally, you can have the ACM, then you can have the YLA, Springer, the American Institute of Physics. But again, that is not only limited to physics, but again, how and what type of work you are working on. Okay, so all these things will decide your publisher as well as the journal. So the rate of returning authors in IEEE network is continuously on rise, and the reason behind it, that the reputation of the journal is very good, and perhaps due to the IEEE, as we all know, that publishing speed is fast, so that's why people do return. Okay, so in this way, you should consider that what type of journal you should consider for your publication. Additionally, some of the major domains or the research areas that you should focus on while writing the journal, having IEEE network in mind, are wireless networks, computer networks, data management, multimedia, then the history of computer science, telecommunication engineering, etc. Additionally, what are some keywords that you should keep in mind while writing paper for IEEE network? Then some of them are edge computing, big data, software-defined networking, resource reservation, Internet of Things, wireless ad hoc networks, quality of service, access networks, etc. Okay, so I think some of the keywords and domains I have discussed with you, and more than 136 countries authors have been publishing their work with the IEEE network. So it's a very powerful journal, and its reputation across all sort of research domains and among all category of authors is very well known and very recommendable. So I will highly recommend it. And if you do think that I have mentioned some fact wrong and you don't comply with all the things that I have discussed, so please do comment below and please let me know that what are the different things that I left out. Additionally, if you know something additional other than the information mentioned in this, please let me know. I will definitely learn from your inputs, from your criticism, and in this way I'm going to conclude this video. Thanks for watching it. Thank you. Happy learning.